What do you do when words no longer suffice? After the exchanges have been made, the songs have gained popularity, and opinions have divided online, what comes next? This is the question hanging over the most significant rap rivalry of this decade, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. According to DJ Akademiks, things may be taking an unexpected turn towards a boxing match. Yes, you read that correctly. It's not about another diss track or a lawsuit, but rather a physical confrontation. Hello everyone, welcome to Celebrity Cookies. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment your thoughts about the video. I hope to see you in our next cookies. Akademiks reports that Drake is allegedly prepared to fight, not in a figurative sense, but in reality. A boxing match between these two rap giants could resolve what their diss tracks and social media posts have failed to settle. This isn't just a casual remark. Akademiks suggests that this possibility is genuinely being considered. He shared this news during one of his typical lively live streams, and while much of what he says should be taken with caution, this particular claim feels significant. Drake wants to throw hands, he said, half jokingly, half seriously, addressing someone off camera. I'll bring Drake to Compton, and he's going to take on Kendrick. That's a fact. Let's not overlook that. Bringing Drake to Compton, that's not just reckless. It could be seen as extremely dangerous by some, especially given that their lyrical conflict has already crossed boundaries that most feuds typically avoid. The rivalry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar intensified in 2024 after Kendrick released his notorious track, Not Like Us. It wasn't merely a diss. It was a cultural shockwave. The song accused Drake of things that most rappers wouldn't dare to vocalize, including promoting a harmful narrative about grooming and manipulation. The backlash was immense. The drama went viral, and Drake eventually responded, not only musically but legally. He filed a lawsuit against Universal Music Group, UMG, claiming the label was endorsing a false and malicious song that depicted him as a pedophile. This lawsuit was a bold move, but it didn't restore his public image. In fact, some argue it worsened his reputation, portraying him as an untouchable superstar who can't handle lyrical criticism. However, here's the twist. While Drake may have publicly dismissed the idea of boxing in interviews, Akademiks asserts that the situation is different behind the scenes. Drake might not be interested in a public spectacle of a celebrity fight, but he is reportedly open to a private match, just fists, no audience. Akademiks even describe the potential setting. If we're going to fight, we'll do it at Hino's gym or somewhere similar behind closed garage doors. Drake mentioned this casually, but he wasn't joking. According to sources, he is serious. He's tired of the disrespect, the accusations, and the ongoing questions about his authenticity. He wants a resolution, and it seems Kendrick feels the same way. Kendrick Lamar isn't interested in a friendly bout, at least not according to West Coast veteran Glasses Malone. In a podcast earlier this year, Malone stated unequivocally that Kendrick really wants to kick Drake's ass. There was no uncertainty in his tone. He was sharing a personal experience rather than speculating or spreading rumors. Kendrick doesn't let anything slide, he explained. He'll roast you all day long. He's not the good kid that people think he is. This is something the public often overlooks. Many view Kendrick through the lens of his album covers, seeing him as a poetic and socially aware artist. However, those who know him say he can be quite ruthless. Kendrick holds grudges longer than most can sustain a note, and when he feels disrespected, it becomes personal. Malone even shared instances where he had to prevent Kendrick from getting into fights on tour buses. That's not typical behavior for a poet. It's more characteristic of a fighter. So what does this mean for us? Drake, the global superstar with more #1 hits than most artists could ever hope for, seems to want to physically confront Kendrick. Not in a lyrical sense, but literally. And Kendrick, he reportedly is open to it. But the real question is, what does this indicate about the current state of hip-hop? About masculinity? About legacy? Are we truly at a point where rap battles are no longer enough? Where lawsuits and streaming rivalries fall short? Where the only way to win is to settle things behind closed doors with a fight? This situation may not just be about the feud. It touches on image, pride, ego, and respect. Drake has faced accusations of being soft for over a decade. His singing, ghostwriting rumors, relationships with younger women, and his tendency to throw subliminal shots rather than direct ones have chipped away at the image he has worked hard to cultivate as a respected lyricist and dominant figure in hip-hop. In contrast, Kendrick has often been portrayed as the anti-Drake, the one who doesn't follow trends, who doesn't need to play nice with record labels, and who isn't concerned with fame or charts. Many view him as the real artist, unafraid to challenge authority, even if that authority is Drake. But if this conflict escalates into a physical fight, regardless of the outcome, what happens next? If Drake gets beaten, he risks losing any remaining street credibility. If Kendrick loses, he could be labeled a fake tough guy or a fraud. Even if he triumphs in a lyrical sense, a physical defeat to Drake could tarnish his entire reputation. What if the fight never takes place? Then it simply adds another layer of drama to an already iconic rivalry. This ongoing saga will keep escalating as both artists exchange subtle jabs, legal actions, and interviews until one of them is either silenced or decides to step away. This conflict is about more than just physical confrontations. It revolves around storytelling, control, and who gets to have the final say in history. With Drake clearly feeling the pressure, he may believe that retaliating, literally, is his only option to regain the influence he feels he has lost in this conflict. The pressing question now is, would Kendrick accept the challenge? And if he does, who truly comes out on top? Because when egos collide and the spotlight dims, someone's legacy inevitably suffers. This time, it could be more than just a career at stake. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.